what's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be chatting about another very sensitive subject. Endless runs versus fashion frame. Which is the true endgame? Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, this video is not turning out the way that I thought it was going to be. I was actually going to draw a lot of parallels between endless runs and fashion frame and show that they were both the current type of endgame and that they were equal and they had their own different beautiful, wonderful things. However, as I started outlining things and as I started paying attention to some DE behavior, I was like, wait a gosh darn second here. Wait a single moment, because it seems like fashion frame is the true endgame created by DE. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So as we all know, endless runs have been a big thing, and that's kind of like where you test your skill. That's where you go on for as long as you can, and then you get on leaderboards and you show people your screenshots and you're proud of yourself and you're like, look what I did, and people are asking for your builds and you feel super special. It's kind of like this player created endgame, right? There's no bonus rewards to it on DE's end, aside from being on the leaderboards and whatnot. And you know, for a lot of people, it's skill testing and it's intensive and it's fun and it's challenging and all of that kind of stuff. And that is definitely a valid form of player created endgame. The same thing goes for fashion frame. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, way back in the day when the terminology fashion frame as endgame initially came out, I was kind of like, very funny, but you know, thanks, because you know, I'm kind of rocking the fashion frame right now. But internally, I never really took it seriously. But as time went on, you know, a lot of people really started embracing what I considered to be a meme, was that fashion frame was endgame. However, it slowly took a turn. With the creation of Tenogen, people really started jumping on bandwagons for certain artists. They really wanted to see certain skins. They really started rallying, and it really got the community in an uproar. Very similarly to the way that, you know, world-breaking runs in, you know, on Twitch or recorded on stream, on, you know, for YouTube and whatnot. Everybody was really in an uproar about the fashion. Everybody was like, oh my god, fashion, fashion, fashion. And of course, certain people like became known for their fashion frames. And then everybody would start showing screenshots, very similarly to how people on the endless runs would show their screenshots. You know, they'd be like, look at my build, look at how long I went for. You know, now it's kind of like, take a look at this skin, take a look at this color customization, look at the armors that I put on. So that whole sharing aspect, that whole kind of like, look at how cool I am, also kind of carried through. Now, of course, there are no leaderboards for fashion frame. However, another thing started happening. DE on primetime started sharing a lot of fan art. And what was contained within that fan art? Oh yeah, fashion frame. Yep, and we're not just talking about normal fashion frame, we're also talking about Tenogen. Literally, artists are now being, what's the word, what is it? When an artist is told to make something for someone, commissioned into making art based on the fashion frame of people. So now people are not just, you know, not just out there like, oh look, I'm cool. It actually has become a business, not just off of the Tenogen end, but also from the artist's end. So now it's elevated to a whole nother point. DE is showing it off via the fan art on their streams. You know, we're getting so much fashion frame armors, Tenogens, color palettes, right? Let's talk about what endless runs have gotten lately. Oh yeah, that's nothing. We did get ESO, but let's be real, ESO isn't necessarily an endless mode that a lot of people flock to or necessarily want to go out there and promote. And because of the fact that ESO is ever changing, people don't really adapt their builds to it, right? So it's just kind of like one of those things where we try to min-max it as much as possible, and then we go as far as we possibly can, which is usually rotation 8, because people are only in there for the rewards. So people are like, I'm in, I'm out, bye, I'll see you on the next rotation or whatever we're going for. But fashion frame, on the other hand, has really started to blossom, because not only did we just receive a palette, we also received Captura, right? So now not only do we have these moments of kind of like, oh, you know, we're sharing our screenshots of our fashion frame, but DE has actually put time and resources into creating these scenes for us to kind of take shots in. They've created filters for us to be able to, you know, kind of alter our pic, like Instagram our Warframe, right? And not only that, they've installed cameras so that we can do panning shots. What's Endless Run got? Oh yeah, that's nothing. That's crickets. I should put in crickets in the editing, but you guys know I'm not gonna end up doing that. And so here we are now. Fashion Frame is slowly pulling ahead more and more. And here's the thing: for those of you guys who are endless runners, remember, I came from that exact same spot too. I was one of those people that like to do endless runs, and I was even laughing as a fashion framer. I was laughing at the whole fashion frame is endgame thing. I'm like, oh, you're so funny. But legitimately, if you take a close look at it, what has DE been showing off even on their dev streams as of late? Oh yes, it is Dojo fashion freaking frame. All right, and before that was Orbiter fashion freaking frame. And every single time something new comes out, whenever there is, you know, some sort of, big update, there's fashion frame involved, whether it's going to be fashion frame for your operators, whether it's going to be fashion frame for your new frame, whatever it is, there's always something involved with fashion and showing off the prestige. And see, that's the thing that ties us all together. Now, if you guys didn't check out a previous video that I did, I'll actually go ahead and link it up there, and it's talking about the veteran problem and one of the things that we could do to fix it, and we fix it via prestige. Now, the reason that people have kind of flocked to this is because endless runs were the big prestige back in the day, right? Having that world-breaking run was a big prestige until, you know, we realized that, you know, we could actually just break the game and we could make defense pods invisible, and then the AI wouldn't know that they're there and try to attack them, and then you could do defense runs for hours on end, and it just kind of like just fucked up the meta of the game, so it didn't even matter like if you were doing a legit endless run or you were doing, you know, a run that you kind of gamed the system with, you know? So after that kind of fell out, after, you know, we realized that, oh yeah, there's ways to game endless runs, that's where fashion frame really became the real prestige, because we're like, oh, a 2-hour solo run, psh, we could do that with Avara and Octavia, super easy. Don't even worry about, oh, you want to do a defense, just grab the invisibility arrows. You okay, boo? Don't even worry about it. Like, after the endless runs were absolutely gamed, the only thing that was left to show true skill, to show, you know, to show off what you put together that was unique and different, that wasn't a copy and paste build that you picked up off of some streamer or off of some YouTuber, you know, that had just kind of gamed the run themselves. You actually were able to create something different for yourself, something that was unique, and something that was like, listen, this is me. And trust me, the one thing that you will get from Fashion Frame that you won't get from those endless runs, if you fuck up on an endless run, you could sit there in an endless run and you could be like, okay, I did 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's good, and then you tell your friends, you're like, I did 3 hours the other day. And then all of a sudden you feel like shit. You're like, okay, I spent 2.5 hours of my life and apparently I'm still not good enough because you did 3 hours. Thanks, Billy. Go fuck yourself, Billy. But when you do Fashion Frame, it's so subjective that as long as you love what you've done, Billy can go on and get whatever pink, you know, bright pink rhino he wants to go and do, and you can look sexy and styling over here, you know? So that's kind of like one of the interesting things about Fashion Frame is people walk away from it always feeling good, right? So that's definitely, or attempting to feel good, because some people need some help. But, you know, I get so many messages from people saying, look at my fashion frame, look at my fashion frame. And the thing about it is, regardless of how I feel about it, they're proud and they're happy. So we've got a new, like, happiness meta instead of a stressful, I'm not good as X, Y, and Z player meta, right? And that's the really interesting thing that I found here, because DE is really blossoming Fashion Frame to be the end game. We've got Captura, we've got all of the things that you can do in the dojos now. We're gonna have a Railjack, and let's be real, Railjack is going to have some fashion frame, and let's be real, they've already said that the, oh my god, I forgot what they're called, the boards, the freaking boards are also going to be fashion frameable. So wherever you go, whatever you're doing, there is always an element of fashion in it, and that is why, even though the original premise of this video was going to show the parallels of endless runs and the prestige that comes from endless runs, and then you see the prestige that comes from really, really good fashion frame, you can see the one thing that is the difference between the two. In endless runs, there are no bonus rewards. There are no extra pushes. But in fashion frame, while there are no bonus rewards, there are bonus utilities. It is regularly promoted. In fact, one of the, one of the things that are going on right now is DE's putting out this contest to like take your companions in real life, fashion frame them up or show them off in some sort of Warframe way, and they'll actually take the pattern for your friends, not for your friends, like, but like for your pets, and put them in game. That's also fashion frame. DE, whether they realize it or not, is pushing the fashion frame narrative, and that is why, as much as I wanted to vouch for endless runs, the thing that DE is focused on and the thing that DE is absolutely embracing, and I think that it's actually a good embracing. I didn't really think about it too much until this video came out, but if there is one positive meta, it's definitely fashion frame. So if whether it's conscious or unconscious, I think that it's actually done an amazing thing for the community. So let me know in the comments below how you feel about fashion frame versus endless runs. Do you feel that, you know, fashion frame is a good thing for the game? Do you think it's a bad thing for the game? How do you feel about endless runs? Do you think it's a good thing for the game? Do you think it's a bad thing for the game? Let me know, because at the end of the day, we're talking about player-created endgame, right? However, one player-created endgame seems to be getting pushed a little bit more than another. So, that about does it for me for now. It's a little bit of food for thought. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.